Stock futures rose Monday, with investors looking to build on the S&P 500's fresh all-time high from Friday. Futures tied to the benchmark S&P 500 added 0.6% along with Nasdaq 100 futures. Dow Jones Industrial Average futures ticked up 52 points, or 0.1%. Stocks roared back to life on Friday after losing ground earlier in the week. The S&P 500 broke both its intraday and closing record from January 2022, ending the day at 4,839.81. Friday's gain officially signaled that Wall Street is indeed in a bull market that started in October 2022. The Dow Jones Industrial Average and tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite also closed higher, with all three major indexes now in the green so far in 2024. Tech stood out among S&P 500 sectors on Friday, gaining 2.35% on the day and 4% on the week. Wall Street's strength will seemingly depend on whether the U.S. central bank will capture an economic soft landing. Investors are hoping for a series of benchmark interest rate cuts beginning in March, although they are less sure the initial cut will come to fruition. Data from the CME Group's FedWatch tool as of Friday shows investors are now pricing in a roughly 47% chance of a Fed rate cut in March, a steep decrease from 81% a week earlier. Investors will be closely watching a slate of economic reports due out this week, including gross domestic product data on Thursday and the personal consumption expenditures prices on Friday. Both reports could provide insight into how central bank policymakers view monetary policy moving forward. Correction. A previous version of this story misstated the report date for gross domestic product data. The Commerce Department will release its initial gross domestic product estimate on Thursday. Boeing shares were down more than 2% in the premarket after the Federal Aviation Administration advised flight carriers using the 737-900ER aircraft go through an inspection. This comes after a door plug blew out on a 737 MAX 9 mid-flight earlier this month. The Boeing 737-900ER is not part of the newer MAX fleet but has the same door plug design, the FAA said. Shares of Archer-Daniels-Midland were down more than 13% after the food processing company said CFO Vikram Luthar was put on administrative leave amid an investigation into the company's nutrition business. The board takes these matters very seriously, lead director Terry Crews said in a statement. Pending the outcome of the investigation, the board determined that it was advisable to place Mr. Luthar on administrative leave. The board will continue to work in close coordination with ADM's advisors to identify the best path forward and ensure ADM's processes align with financial governance best practices. Ismael Roig was named interim CFO. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index tumbled over 2%, led by real estate stocks after the People's Bank of China held its 1-year and 5-year loan prime rates at 3.45% and 4.2%, respectively.